Hello and welcome back to the Argyle AI Decision Makers Summit, Revolutionizing Business Strategy with AI. My name is Vicki Lynn Brunskill with Argyle. It's great having everyone join us today. A couple of notes before we meet our esteemed panelists for this session. Just a quick reminder to stop by our sponsors' virtual booths at any time during today's event and for the following week. Our partners are committed to providing you with valuable content and a great overall experience today. At any time during the event, you can visit their virtual booths from the main agenda page, and those do include complimentary materials, information, and meet and greet opportunities. To ask questions throughout this session and all sessions, simply type into the Q&A chat, and we will address your questions at the end of the session. And now, without further delay, I'd love to dive into this wonderful conversation. We are so excited to have our panelists for a panel discussion titled Talent on Tap, AI for Workplace Optimization, a very popular and important topic today. I'm going to let's start with some brief introductions. I'm going to go with Tiffany first. Tiffany, please introduce yourself.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Tiffany Ingram, the Global Human Resource Director of Continuous Improvement at Wall Clipper Corporation. I'm also the CEO of LuxLink Business Solutions. It is a service-based business dedicated to enabling businesses to identify and create synergies between AI and human resources. Again, I am thrilled to be here speaking with this esteemed panel and just sharing my insight on how AI is truly revolutionizing workplace or workforce optimization and discuss the significance that we've all seen um, in talent management and beyond. So thank you.
Thanks for being here, Tiffany. We're glad you're with us. How about you, Jabin? Would you like to do a brief intro?
Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. Good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be part of this panel. I'm Jebin Givagis George. I work for TCS Data Consultancy Services. I work as a global fintech transformation leader. What we do is that providing service delivery and transformation for our major financial capital markets client. And particularly, I do have more than a decade of experience working with retail financial services client, and we are working on AI solutions, fintech, and implementing in agile ways. So I'm really glad to be a part of this panel with Tiffany and Andrea, and also with the Executive Agile Forum, what we have today. And definitely, it's the need of the hour to talk about AI for workforce optimization, because definitely it is going to play a vital role personally and professionally in our lives. So more to discuss. Looking forward to talk to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jabin. And Andrea, a brief intro?
Yeah, great. Hi, everyone. My name's Andrea Shah. I'm the head of talent strategy and transformation at Eightfold. I joined Eightfold, which is an AI talent platform, about 3 years ago. Prior to that, I had a 25-year career at American Express, where I worked mostly in the business, but I was tapped on the shoulder to join HR and lead a lot of transformation HR. While there, I implemented Eightfold and a lot of other transformations. Was a little wowed by what I saw and saw that was a big deal for HR. So I decided to join Eightfold and now spend my time talking to talent leaders about AI and how it makes a difference in their talent priorities. Excited to be here today.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for joining us. And let's go into some of those experiences that you've had. I'll start with you on the first topic that we're going to talk about today, which is what are the top ways you've seen AI improve workforce optimization? You said you've seen a few.
Yeah. So I thought maybe what would be helpful for the audience is maybe for me to share a little bit about AI and what exactly it means, when you talk about talent, because the impact is so large. So starting with a quick 101 about this, what AI brings or what Eightfold has brought to our customers is we have a huge depth of knowledge about skills and skills that exist in different roles that people hold. And so, what we're able to help our customers do is understand the skills that their employees have and also the skills that candidates have, right? So, that's one very important outcome of having AI. We also help you define like what are the critical skills you need when you're looking to drive business results for all your different roles that you have in your organization. So when you can match kind of your critical skill needs with the skills that your employees or your candidates have, it unlocks everything. Like all of a sudden, you're no longer limited by a job, and therefore that job can move to these jobs. Now you're actually looking at the talent in your organization. It really unlocks everything for every stakeholder. So HR can also all of a sudden answer the question of what skills do I have in the organization. Leaders can understand what skills do I need to drive business results. And then they can also understand across their workforce, how do I build those skills in my organization? Or do I need to go out and acquire those skills through talent acquisition? So some really powerful things that come about when you know the skills your employees and your candidates have, and you can match that with the skills that you need. So that's a quick primer on kind of AI and how it really optimizes for your workforce.
Thank you, Andrea. And Tiffany, did you want to add to that, or I'll kind of go one at a time so that there's not too much overspeak.
Definitely. So I really enjoy what Andrea said about, again, just how AI is playing a part in talent development. I've seen it personally in performance management. So again, when you're looking at the skills that you have within an organization and matching that up with the talent that you have, you also want to create a process by which you can give employees that immediate real-time feedback. And also be able to provide development opportunities. So AI has shown up on the scene, as we say, and made a significant boost in these two areas. And again, I've seen that and how it correlates to employee performance and productivity. So again, if you're able to give that employee immediate feedback and supply them with the opportunities to either upskill or reskill, it's been phenomenally shown to increase productivity within organizations too as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then Jabin, what do you think? What are the top ways you've seen AI improve workforce optimization?
So coming back to pretty much what Andrea and Tiffany has told, that definitely we are seeing a big wave of AI in terms of the workforce or talent optimization. So what I see is that it is a multi-tree view. For example, from an enterprise point of view, how we are looking our employees and assisting internally to elevate their experience, have a better collaboration within their tools to work to foster the productivity and all those things. But from as an employee working for an enterprise, I will also be looking from what it means to me from an AI perspective. So, for example, as an employee working for an enterprise, can I have a personalized, tailored learning? Can I get a quick support? For example, how AI is playing a very beautiful role as in HR bots. It is helping us quickly tell, like as an employee, give us like instantly answer the queries that we are looking for. Implementing Gen AI search, it can skim tons of data and just give you what you are actually looking for instead of going over multiple emails and tons of emails. That is a beautiful aspect. Second thing, recently, like what Microsoft and I mean, in the conference, what recently has been spoken of, it's a multi-level of agent deployment for all the enterprises. Okay, so one is like how as a co-pilot, like actually like a peer, someone sitting with me and helping me put my code or helping me hire the right candidate, exactly what Andrea told, like have a skill match, basically what we're looking for, and increase our right to hire frequency. For example, a lot of these things are getting optimized just on your fingertips or just a magic of AI being implemented in enterprises. And that's where the tailored solutions like what Eightfold AI or what Tiffany or we are being there trying to bring in for our customers or the services. So just to touch base, like I don't want to take all the time, but it's a lot of topic. But again, we have to touch upon how we implement the data governance part of it, keeping security and ethical concerns in place by the enterprise. So that is it.
Very good, very good. Building on that, Jabin, I'd love to stay with you. What are the most significant ways you've seen organizations apply AI to innovate, like employee engagement and other workforce initiatives?
Okay, so as of now, as every enterprises, we are trying to fix our enterprise within our internally. Like, are we ready for the generative AI or AI implementation? So first thing is that to have a strategic direction, set up the AI board within your AI council or AI committee within your enterprises. And what we have seen is that we can start with very low end initiatives. For example, low to moderate risk kind of initiatives, like having your service bots implemented and answering a simple query. where the key employees or the key associates can focus on strategic work, where they can focus more on the strategy and rather than on the routine BAU works. So what we have seen is that service agent or agent deployments, like as an agent bots, that is pretty much common in across all type of industries, small, medium, and that is what we are doing for our client. And it is pretty much giving a lot of bandwidth and reducing our call rates to the operation center also. For example, I'm having a login issue, or I'm not able to log into a banking application. I do have a virtual assistant. I just give the details. It says that, okay, you might have to reboot or you have to do this. That makes our life easy. And from an employee perspective, we are able to focus more on the key important work. So that's really one thing. Second thing is that how enterprises are using it is like integrating the products together. For example, I'm not I'm not sure, but all large scale enterprises, what we are seeing, definitely they have a Microsoft product in place. So what they do is that they try to integrate the product strategy, bringing the products and platforms, bringing in Office 365 Copilot, Teams, and SharePoint together, and how it helps me as a based on my persona. It brings in everything together for me and can summarize the notes for me, summarize my meetings, summarize my records, having a personalized dashboard. That is what elevating the employee experience. That is what something we are trying to step up for our clients and bring in that flavor. So that is how I mean, it definitely there's a lot of talk needs to be done. And before we all do all these things, definitely data has to be there. The foundation, the AI foundation has to be there. And that's where, like, as Andrea and Tiffany, we all see that AI can bring in a lot of optimization for us. But before that, we need to set the right direction and we have to start implementing it. And from a talent workforce, like I think Andrea can touch upon more about it, but HR integration would be definitely something really good, like the onboarding experience, how AI can beautifully play something, play a critical role over there. Yeah, assist, assist us. Yeah.
Thank you. Want to add something on employee engagement and other workforce initiatives and how you seeing companies innovate with AI?
Yeah, well, I think, it's such an exciting time from what I can see out there. I think what, like, up to the CEO, there's a realization that your workforce is your most important asset, right? We just went through some really crazy times during COVID, and coming out of COVID, even crazier from the standpoint of talent. And so all of a sudden, all the way up to the CEO, they realize the workforce is the most important asset they have to keep an eye on. And so the great news is that HR has now got this great seat and really kind of being pushed to drive innovation. And so I'm seeing a lot of engagement now in terms of employee engagement. How do you get employees engaged? And a lot of what our customers are looking for is enabling mobility, right? That's what employees are interested in. I want to constantly develop. I want to make myself more valuable, to the workforce in general. And so there's a lot of effort around that. And when you think about AI, what's really great about that is we introduce transparency. So if I'm an employee, I can now look at roles across the entire organization. And what roles can I potentially move to? Where do I have a huge overlap in skills? And not only the typical pathway, like I could just potentially move up. Now I can look across the entire organization. And what am I interested in? And what do I need to learn, right? If I understand what skills are required, what do I need to learn to be able to move that role successfully? So all of a sudden, that transparency empowers your employees to really drive their mobility and movement. And we're seeing huge results because of that, right? Because employees are, the uptick in terms of internal hiring and mobility is really high. And what I really love in that too is diversity. The increase in diversity for movements and even application for roles internally, we're seeing gigantic increases, right? Because I think it just opens up the opportunity for them and gives them kind of the courage to apply when they're seeing that they can match to these roles. And it's really exciting to see those type of results.
Tiffany, did you have anything to add there?
So I just really wanted to hone in just a little bit more on the sentiment analysis. So Andrea talked about the employee engagement piece and, not waiting till once a year when you have that engagement survey. It's really AI, these AI tools are helping us analyze employee communications and the feedback that we're getting either through post surveys, the annual survey, of course, when maybe you conduct state interviews, maybe when people unfortunately leave your organization, you're conducting exit interviews, so you're able to identify the trends in morale. So again, if there are things or touch points that need your attention, you're able to address those timely, and again, help reduce your turnover rates within your organization. So creating those natural touch points with your employees so you can always check their pulse is one way that I've seen AI just again truly impact employee engagement.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you all for that. That was very good answers for that one. So I wanted to, Tiffany, let me move on a little bit and change it up a little bit and talk more about the challenges. So what are some of the challenges you're seeing related to applying AI in a workforce environment? And most importantly, how can everyone listening overcome those challenges?
Holy moly, where do I start? So, of course, everyone's concerned about privacy and security, right? That's at the forefront. Is my information, my employee data, my company data, is it protected? So again, protecting that sensitive employee data is crucial. There are AI solutions out there, programs or platforms out there that help you provide that robust cybersecurity measures that, again, safeguard this information. Another one is, well, I think they run kind of hand in hand, but the change management piece, right? You may have employees within your organization that are really resistant to taking on or even adapting AI because they're thinking what we're all thinking, right? Maybe in some shape, form, or fashion, that it will one day replace us. So we have to be clear on the communication, provide that comprehensive training, those training programs, and involve employees in the change process. Take them on the journey, invite them on the bus with you. And this can help ease the transition. Again, if you make them a member or allow them to be a part of the transition. And then lastly, biases in the AI algorithm. So understanding where that data is coming from is a significant concern because, again, we don't want to adopt a solution that has built-in biases within it. So you want to ensure that you're having those regular audits, you're understanding where, again, the origin of the information is coming from, making sure there are diverse data sets in there, and the algorithm is inclusive by design so that it ensures that there's fairness and equity within the application.
Very, very good. Good points. Jabin, did you want to add to that?
Oh, absolutely. Like whatever Tiffany like touch basing the same thing. The challenges definitely it's like a holy thing. Like definitely a lot of things to be centered around the AI piece because definitely it's going to be resistance from the employee side of it. But not only employee side, but there are data foundation, data privacy, and ethical concerns also. For example, we do have a AI system that we have just deployed it in our environment. But how are we training our AI model? Okay. Is it going to be giving us a non-biased output irrespective of anything? So those things has to be governed. So that's where the AI governance piece comes in, and we need to really it could be something very stringent for every organization to put some focus over the AI governance part. Then only your all these things can play because it's directly involved with the reputation of the company. For example, it's if it is giving some, and if a small security related concern or data leak happens, it damages the entire enterprise's reputation. So that is something the persona of the company is lost.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful in embracing the technology, but definitely it is not going to hurt us in any way. We have to beautifully love AI, how it can help us in our journey. And that's where the human aspect is not going to be lost in any way. I'm not trying to diverse from the topic. So what we can do is that help the enterprises and employees elevate their productivity using AI tools, but the critical thinking mindset, those kind of culture can be in the organization so that we can be focused on what our customers want, and we can bring in that piece for our customers and deliver the right fit of products and services to the customer. Now there is something I think what Andre was touching upon about the predictive analytics, and Tiffany touched about the sentimental analysis. So as of now, we are also exploring, like as a firm, how to, like, a lot of firms are also exploring by implementing the camera sensors. They can read if I'm looking dull today or what is my energy level. So that is the way we are trying to embrace it, so that we can give them, we can know what our employees are going through. Okay, so we can help them giving some holiday coupons, some beach coupons, some off time, those things. Let's say if they look dull and they're not able to share anything, so a lot of factor has been on the mental health of the employees also, because sometimes as an HR factor or a people engagement perspective, I may be opening up or I may not be opening up. I may be going through a lot of things. I may be overloaded. So how the technology can, like how the enterprise can read those data, having an analytics on or sentimental analysis on your employees, and they can tailor this for the benefit of the employees. That is how what I see is that AI is going to be a big game changer in terms of helping everyone, like a win-win for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. And Vicky Lynn, if I could just build on a couple of things. Tiffany, you brought up a couple of points, and Javine, I think you also brought these points up. But two things. One, on the change management, making things easier for people is hard. It's kind of what I've seen. Because ultimately, that's what you're trying to do with AI. You're trying to make something easier for employees, your recruiters, HR, whomever it is. But the thing that's interesting is it's a change. And so change can be hard. I think the recommendation I would give is two key things. I think there are two components to successful change. One is you have to have the inspiration, right? So for all the for all the users of your new tool, they have to be inspired. There has to be a reason for them to participate. If there's no reason, you're not going to get the engagement. So you have to be very clear on the inspiration and inspire them to use the tool. And for the purposes of talent, it can be around mobility, it can be around, transparency, it can be around upskilling. All those things are really inspiring things for employees. And then the second thing for change management, I think, is making the action easy, helping them understand exactly what steps they need to take when, I think is really important. So those two things combined really help change. And then on the front of bias, I think the one thing I would say, I feel like there's 4 points I think you should look for, when you're working with any vendor. So that's great, if they're claiming that they don't have bias in their AI. But the one thing you always want to make sure is, number one, that there's no data used that can create bias. That's number one. Number two is that they are auditing themselves, right? Because you never know when bias can creep in. But you need someone to be auditing themselves on a regular basis. Number three, not only are they auditing themselves, but they have a third party auditing them, right? So somebody independent of them that they are commissioning to also audit them. And number four, if you're using the AI, you should also audit yourself. Mm-hmm. Do reviews to make sure, because I think the worst thing in the world is to operationalize bias into your decisions. And so I think it's really important that you're doing regular checks on that, and audits is a really important way to do that.
Thank you. Excellent points. And so let's build a little on that. We talked about engagement and we talked about bias, but Andrea, I'm going to go to you first on this. Can you share any examples of innovation in terms of applying AI for career development, talent acquisition, onboarding, all of those good points?
Yeah. I mean, I think I talked a little bit about kind of mobility and learning, when you give employees the transparency to see the roles that they can move to beyond what they're aware of. I think that's really important, because all of a sudden they're able to look for opportunities based on what they know, not who they know. Unfortunately, today, when you're thinking about your next job, you usually reach out to somebody that you know to ask them about that job and how does that work. But not everybody has that network. So all of a sudden, the great thing about AI is just makes full transparency. And that's what makes everything so much more inclusive and therefore better quality of talent results. So I've talked a little bit about employee engagement. Maybe I can talk a little bit about recruiting, because I think that's another very big priority for a lot of organizations. And there's lots of competition for the same type of talent. A lot of organizations are building digital talent, analytical talent. We're all fighting for kind of the same skills. And then if you look at each vertical, they're all fighting for other skills too, like renewable energy and oil and gas. Hourly workers are very competitive right now. Biotech is really important in the pharma industry. So each industry not only has their digital skills challenge, but they have their own vertical challenge. So recruiting can be very competitive. And I think the great thing that you get when you have AI, if you can know, your candidates and the skills they have, you can actually find more candidates. That's number one. So your sourcing becomes much stronger. I think the one thing that's really powerful that Eightfold will do is all your former applicants, their profiles come to life, and you can actually source from all your former applicants, which I think is very powerful because those are warm leads. They've gone through the process of applying for roles at your company. That's really powerful to be able to source from that population. But then being able to really focus in on those individuals that really have the skills that match to what you're looking for. The other thing AI does too is if you got a lot of applicants for a role, your recruiter can screen hundreds of resumes in minutes, right? Which is like, if you think about the idea that a recruiter still has to open and read every resume, it's like astounding. It's really astounding. That's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. And I found when I led the global talent acquisition organization at American Express, oftentimes recruiters are so busy with so many requisitions. What they were doing was choosing the first 5 or 10 applicants that fit the bill and then leaving some better talent on the table, right? Because they're so busy, they find the talent and then they move on. And you've got we saw in our analysis that we had some really strong talent we just didn't get to in terms of their reviewing the resumes. So being able to screen resumes comprehensively is really powerful. And then I think I talk about this regularly, but I think the diversity, having more diversity in your talent is really important, right? Being able to be more inclusive as you're looking at talent because you're considering the skills, and inviting more people to apply because they're matched based on their skills is what comes about with AI, right? Candidates are able to go to your career site and basically leverage the matching to see what are the roles that match to my skills. You'll get a lot more diverse applicants in that way, is what we're seeing in our results. So that diversity to me brings better quality of talent into your pipeline. So really important capabilities that you get when you have AI. I've talked about, mobility and employee engagement, and I just want to put a lens on talent acquisition too.
Thank you for that, Tiffany. Anything to add on AI hiring and onboarding and career development?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, onboarding. So you spend all this time getting the ideal talent, you identify that star candidate, and their first interaction with your organization, again, is the review, or not the review, the interview process, but bringing them on as now a part of your organization's family. And with AI now, you're able to, because onboarding behind the scenes without AI is a very, very labor intensive task for HR professionals. So with AI power systems, we're able to develop those customized training programs, get those forms out to the candidates before they even walk in on the first day. They've done 90%, or if not 100% almost, of the administrative work. So now, when they finally reach your organization for the first day, then they're ready to jump in and really learn what the company is about, not being bogged down with those administrative forms and things that may happen on the first day. You may also be able to provide them with virtual tools with these AI platforms, which again, now they're learning the landscape before they even arrive. So they're able to immerse themselves a little bit quicker. This overall, I've seen it enhance the initial experience that your new hires have, and it reduces their time to productivity because it's helping them feel valued from day one versus coming in feeling overwhelmed by seeing everything for the first time. So again, implementing AI in your onboarding, I think is just as critical, again, as it is with recruiting too as well, because you want them to have that energy that they had during the interview on their first day and not feeling overwhelmed by all of the things that normally happen. So AI truly helps that. I've seen it firsthand.
AI is a very powerful tool here.
Oh, yes, it
And
is.
Shippen, did you have anything to add on the talent acquisition, onboarding, career development aspects?
I mean, just to add, I mean, pretty much Andrea and Tiffany has covered everything, but it is so exciting that someone takes my operation work. I just say that, okay, can my day be easy? So as Andrea was saying, that tons of resumes, it is not a easy task to do. Like Tiffany was saying, okay, to fill up the applications, rank them, etc. So that's where I think AI document analysis engines can do a really good like it could be a life-saving thing for us, because lot of it can take a lot of operations things from us, like summarizing the profiles, ranking the profiles, and also which like I think we could work on something. The enterprises are working on the voice bot now. That is something OpenAI is also coming and playing a beautiful what we say, trying to create it. Whisper.ai is something they have already given it, but they are trying to incorporate more translation power to it. So once that comes in, as an HR, if I say uh, schedule an interview with Tiffany, and automatically it automates the task, pulling up all the data, brings them in the product owner Tiffany schedule an interview. I just say in few seconds, and AI does it for me. So
Yeah.
just imagine I'm gonna spend 10 minutes, and now this is going to be just 30 seconds or 1 minute. So definitely that saves a lot of things. So the two aspects, AI can help us elevate our operational tasks, and we can focus more on the strategy aspect of it, and it can be really one of the key elements in talent acquisition, definitely, because it's the way we do not realize how much of the back end work is going on. And if this AI driven analytics and tools can optimize it, then it's gonna be enterprises to start using and embracing this technology. So
Thank you, Shippen.
that's
Thank you. Excellent. So I'm going to follow up with you on our final thing, and then you're going to have to, predict the whole future. What's next in AI for workforce optimization? Are there any tech trends you see as game changers? What's coming? Shippen?
okay. So Vicky, that's a very amazing question. Like what Andrea has told, it is pretty much I'm aligned to what Tiffany also saying, that these technologies are really good, but we need an ecosystem in place. So if every domain or every business is having their own set of challenges, if we talk about healthcare industry or retail or renewable energy, so the focus should be on the low energy based solutions, because AI, it is very good, but imagine the power it takes to compute whatever the power consumption or the energy consumption using these AI systems is not going to be easy. Now, the next challenge would be how we are going to optimize and have low energy solutions to use AI into play or bring AI into power. So that's where edge computing is something we might have to be prepared how to like I think NVIDIA is doing a great job there for accelerating the AI network infrastructure and using edge computing. So that is something we might have to see from a technology perspective, because at the end we have to live on this planet and have a better non damage situation to our own planet, right? So if we consume energy like anything, because the AI systems are going to consume energy like anything, so that's where edge computing is going to, like, which is I think not as of now, the lot of enterprises might be just starting with it, but that is where we are moving towards. If you ask me, the future edge computing is something we might have to start looking as an enterprise today, how to bring in that, so that our AI systems can consume less energy and we are not going to create another set of problems. That is one thing. And the second thing is definitely on the the second future would be how, like, let's say we do have a base operational set of AIs. Now how we create a AI ecosystem, that is not easy, like connecting all these dots. We have touched upon HR integration system, talent acquisition, and talent onboarding, but when we talk about bringing all the functions of an enterprise together, we have to talk it as a within enterprises. We can start think of creating a marketplace, having our own AI agents, making life easy for every employee, and their operations easy. So those are the two aspects that I would say. One is the low energy solution, start embracing edge computing, and the second is creating a AI ecosystem within your company, like having your own agent marketplace for your employee-based persona, so that takes a lot of operational things, and we can really add value for our customers, where we really can put our critical mindset or the real solutions for them.
Thank you for that. Very, very important. And I see we're getting some really good questions in from the audience, but I want to make sure that Tiffany and Andrea have a chance to answer that question. What's next? Put on your predictive hat and let me know. Tiffany, did you want to go next and let us know what you think?
There's one thing that, well, just really, really quick. There's one focus as we look at the well-being of employees as a whole, right? I really foresee there being more AI-driven employee wellness program platforms. I've kind of heard of this a little bit. There are a couple platforms that I've looked into. But again, just as we look at and understanding that our employees are our most precious resource, right? And again, like Andrea stated in the very beginning, HR has a very, very interesting role to play as it pertains to, again, bringing AI or showing the benefits of having AI within the organization. So, with this, AI could monitor and promote employee well-being, personalized health recommendations, just like we're seeing personalized learning plans. They can also help identify mental support outlets or possible solutions, and help employees and organizations deal with stress, right? Again, with everything happening, us expected to do more with less because of the talent shortage in the market. There's an immense amount of stress through the sentiment analysis that we're seeing in these employee engagement surveys. Employees are saying, "Hey, I'm stressed out, right? I need some sort of assistance." So I really do foresee more of these AI-driven employee wellness programs, along with some other things. But again, just looking at the employee as a whole, I predict that we'll see more of that.
Thank you. So we're going to see AI for wellness increase. And Andrea, what do you think? Put on your predictive thinking cap and let me know. What do you think is coming next in AI for our workforce optimization?
I'm in total alignment. I think, believe it or not, AI is still young, right? And its applications are growing on a regular basis. And I think even within Eightfold, we're expanding, the use cases for AI as it applies to talent. And I know there's a lot that's happening now as we talk to leaders around looking at their job architecture, looking at workforce planning, and then helping make it easier. As I said, Copilot is a common tool now that's available. It's going to continue to expand, and I think that plays a change management role too, actually, where you can help employees and prompt them on how do you use these new tools. That's going to be very much needed. I joined a session actually with Microsoft, and I heard them talking about their Copilot helping to Copilot all the other Copilots because everybody's needing help in kind of navigating all the new tools that are becoming available. So I just think a lot of things. The application is going to continue to expand, and it's going to ultimately help and make a lot of things easier. But then, employees are going to need help navigating all these new tools. So there'll be new tools to help employees navigate too. So those are kind of some of the trends that we're seeing.
Thank you for that. Excellent. So I do see some great questions from the audience, and I'm going to start digging into them, and feel free to jump in to answer them. The first question that came in is, how do you ensure the accuracy and reliability of AI predictions in workforce planning, and what can we do to validate these predictions?
Wow.
It's a big question.
It's a big one.
I think predictions are really scary. I feel like we've seen in our data, like skills are changing very quickly. ChatGPT is an example of something that just appeared overnight, and all of a sudden everybody is talking about it, and it becomes an important skill. And so your ability to predict what's coming up, I don't think that's 100% reliable. A lot of what we look at is what are the trends, what's rising really quickly as it relates to skills, and that's a great indicator. I'd use that as an indicator versus a predictor. It's really hard to predict. If someone's going to predict skills in 5 years, I don't think I would believe them. But I think looking at the indicators or trends, whether it's in your organization, in your industry, or in the world, I think is the best ways to know kind of what's coming up. And am I ready for what's coming up? That's definitely an insight that a lot of our customers are using.
Anyone else want to add anything to that?
So I think what pretty much what Andrea told, we might have to look our data and analyze it, how we go, how, like, there is no success go or something that we can predict 100% everything, right? It's about how we historically analyze our data and see that how is our forecasting coming up based on the actuals. And that's where the strategic minds, like the HR who is being playing that role, or the key partners, they know that how the trend has been, and then we need to realign our models. And there should be some technology we might have to fix it, because the accuracy has to come based on how we also learn. Our AI model also have to learn through the data. So
Yeah.
to say that there is no one size fit answer for it, it's about how your AI is learning and predicting it, basically. And we, as in human minds or HR players or the strategic team or the leaders, have to see that, okay, the output, how it resonates with the actuals, and you just recalibrate it. I think that is what the option we have as of now. I think, yeah, that is my take on it.
Thank you so much. Tiffany, did you want to add anything, or we have so
Well, I
many
think
questions?
I know we have so many questions, but I think Andrea and Jevin really did a good job explaining this one. When I saw the question, I was like, whoa, that's a good one. And the only thing that I would just add really, really quickly is, again, maybe conducting the scenario analysis. I know Andrea said, taking in all the data. Jevin talked about looking at historical data, and just using all of the data points that you have to, again, validate those predictions, but maybe creating a scenario and, again, conducting that to see if that prediction actually would work. And maybe you can do it in a small pilot area or something like that. But again, they covered it. They provided great answers. I just thought of that one immediately when I saw the question come in.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. So I think we have time for one more. And it's
Okay.
hard to choose because they're all
I
so
know they're all good.
I guess this one about existing workforce structures is good to kind of touch on as a key challenge as well. Can you discuss the challenges and best practices for integrating AI into existing workforce structures without disrupting current operations? That's another big question. Anyone want to weigh in?
I think just to bring in what Tiffany and Andrea's point of view, we should have a good change adoption framework, not creating a resistance. And probably we might have to create AI champions or HR champions who have to educate our own employees that how this has to sit and coexist with you without disrupting your day-to-day jobs. And if sometimes we try to do certain good things for our users and they do not like it, for example, some pop-ups, and it gives annoying, and I'm trying to make code or something, it says that who is this messaging notifications, etc. So we might have to take instant feedback also from the employees, how they are embracing it, and those instant feedback and the awareness from HR champions to AI champions who have to let our employees or the internal stakeholders and external stakeholders know that that the change has to be there, but it is not creating a problem for anyone. So pretty much the change adoption strategy has to be on the high focus whenever we are introducing such new technology or those things. And I think there is another aspect of it, workforce structure. So I'm not sure if Andrea can touch on it, but workforce structure pretty much I think we are talking about the team sizing or something. I'm not sure, but from what I could interpret from the question was that how we make these type of new changes, we introduce it without the disruption of our normal BAU work or operations. So I think the feedback and awareness could help.
I mean, I think that like the bulk of the work is the technical work, right? Where you integrate AI into your platform. And then actually that's kind of the technical work. And then when you introduce it to the stakeholders, you don't want to disrupt their work, right? You actually want to be additive in terms of the value you're delivering to them. And so you don't even need to talk about being skills based. You just can employees, you can talk to them about, hey, check out your profile, complete it, take a look at, new roles that you're interested in, take a look at learning you want to build, take a look at career paths and development goals that you want to establish. It's not meant to be disruptive, to say you need to do everything differently now. It's really meant to be additive, or for your recruiters, like, hey, look at what you can do now with your candidates. It's less about, hey, leverage the AI. It's more about kind of the actions that you can take. So that's kind of how I think about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're out of time. All these good questions we're leaving there. But thank you to the audience. And thank you so much to Tiffany, Jabin, and Andrea for being a wonderful panel and this great, insightful discussion. I want to thank everyone for joining us for this session. And this session, along with all of today's content, will be available on demand following the event. And our next session will begin at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will be a presentation titled Developing Secure LLM Applications Using Private Data. Please click on the join button that will appear on your screen to be redirected to that session, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again for a wonderful panel.